So tonight I finally get to review a tool I've wanted to for a while. This is the Leatherman Charged Titanium. I finally spent the money, and I spent way much more than I should have on a used tool, but I really wanted this and I didn't want to spend $189 full price. So this right here is a 2020 Leatherman Charged Titanium, and I think that's valuable because it does show a lot of wear, and you sort of get to see if you buy this after several years what it will look like. So this one right here has a really good plier set. The pliers meet very well, as you would expect from the Leatherman. It's got replaceable wire cutters, and it does have this crimping spot at the bottom. Now, the replaceable wire cutters do not have the issue we have with some of the newer ones. You can see there's no gap in the bottom. So they don't have those rounded edges that the newer models are having, and this one still has the good ones, thankfully. And then at the top, you do have the crimper right there. Now, that has been an issue where some people have argued, and they said it makes the plier frame weaker. If you actually go into YouTube onto Tim Leatherman's videos, I think he is maybe over on Australia doing his famous nail cutting where he jumps on one of these, and actually the one in the video has this notch, and so it seems like it does hold up fairly well. And then we do have the rulers, the metric, and then the standard inches as well on the sides right here. And then let's talk a little bit about the titanium scales. Now, one of the fascinating things to me about this is if you take a normal charge, just your cheaper charge, this one actually comes in 8.3 ounces is what they say on the website. This comes in 8.89 ounces, and your Leatherman Wave comes in at 8.7 ounces. So as long as I read that right, I think your titanium scales are a little bit heavier actually, which is a little bit ironic, but they look really cool and they're pretty neat. So this right here is how it looks like after 4 years of, I would say, pretty tough wear on this. When I look on the back right here, again, I bought this used. There is some rust buildup and so forth, and you can see definitely some scratches on the metal. So that's sort of what you can expect it to look like after some, fairly heavy duty use. So let's go ahead and look at some of the outside implements. And again, one of the things I really like about the Charge series, let's go ahead and, yes, bring this out. This has the same one where you have that gut hook as well on your serrated blade. And I really wish Leatherman would add this onto more of their tools. I think that's a really special feature. I really like that because I feel like you could cut twine, zip ties, all kinds of things with that. Pretty cool. And then over on this side, we do have the saw. Obviously, these are locking implements as well. So we have the nice saw. And then on this side, we have the diamond file on the one side, and then your other file on the other side. And then it is a three-side file where you actually have the cutting edge on the bottom as well. And then one of the special things about this is, again, this does, I was trying to find it, but it does say the S30V right there at the top. You can sort of see it where it says S30V. So it is a more special blade than some of Leatherman's other tools. So that is the outside implements. And then I did want to mention when I use, this is the Donk Titanium pocket clip, which I thought fittingly would sort of fit pretty cool in here. And it does, it fits in there pretty neat. But one of the things I had issues with is that when I tried to use the inside implements, it made it really, really stiff. So be aware of that. I'm not sure if mine needs thinned down a little. Anyway, just keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the inside implements. And if you are curious, where you find the date stamp on this is on the inside the handle down here. And I've heard some people, this one has a 4-digit code, but some people say they have a 6-digit code, so keep that in mind. And then what we have is this nice screwdriver right here, almost like a pry bar as well. You have the micro screwdriver, and this is reversible. Phillips on one side and then the flat edge on the other as well. And then you do have the scissors as well on this one. And let's go ahead and just do a quick paracord test. I'm curious, again, with this being a used tool, how this will work on the paracord. And again, obviously, this has been used. So it does cut. Sort of chaws through that a little bit. No, it definitely cuts better on this side. So again, there are better scissors out there. And again, these are used as well. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and collapse the scissors and switch to the other side of the tool. And on the other side of the tool, you do have the bit driver, and then you do have this multi-tool as well. You've got your can opener, your wire stripper, and your bottle cap lifter as well. So all those are included. So this, your double-sided bit driver, and of course you can put all kinds of adapters, all kinds of tools. I've gone over meter tools, all kinds of things. Can even go crazy. And for instance, I sort of made a tool right here where you can fit it in and you can have your own knife blade on board. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's a little dangerous, so I don't carry that too much. But anyway, you can go crazy with this and add all kinds of things. And then, of course, all these lock all the tools, both outside and inside. So is it worth, I think this is the big question, is it worth $189? Well, I think that's up to you. I do feel like, again, it has some better washers on the outside for smoother action. Again, this is a use and abuse tool right here. This has been well loved, and it still is fairly smooth. So that's not something you would get from some other tools. So it does still have smooth action. So you do get a lot of quality as well, at least in these older tools you do. And so I feel like that is definitely something that can be worth it for a lot of people, especially if you want one tool to carry with you all the time. Then I think this is a pretty cool model. And of course, you could match it with all kinds of titanium EDC, like I've got a titanium watch, a pen, all kinds of other things, a flashlight, and it just sort of all matches nicely together. So let's go ahead and just talk about the normal charge, the non-titanium version. And this again is pretty smooth. Obviously, you can go online and find all kinds of thumb studs for these as well, and I've gone over those. Several people have sent them into the channel. But the normal charge rather is very similar, but you do have these plastic scales instead of the titanium. So that's something that definitely is missing. So while this does still feel upscale, it's not exactly the same. The blade, this one right here is 154 rather, cm. So that's going to be a difference. And then the scale handle material will be different as well. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.